Alright, so we're out here at our little apiary, and it is September 4th, 2021, and we are on our second honey flow of this year. The second blooming alfalfa is in full bloom out in the fields, and we have numerous of them fields surrounding us. So the bees are bringing lots in specifically for being September. Anyway, we're going through our hives, and I'm doing Mite treatment with my sister Julia, who's behind the camera. And the way we do that is we dust them with powdered sugar. There's many different ways to do that, but that's what we're doing this year. So we had our first honey flow, let's see, it was in August, but it was so terribly dry that we barely got any honey. Got like 12 gallons.
Oh.
That's not too bad, considering specifically because these are all first years. They're nukes that were made in the spring. Generally, the hives that give the most are a year old, not just a few months old. That can depend on your circumstances in the year. This is my one Italian hive. Italian bees are a bright yellow, orangey, as you can see. Now these are probably a bit of a mix, but there's a good amount of Italian in them. You can see the yellow stripes that they have. Look at that frame, that's all honey. These are happy bees. Yeah. Generally, Italians can have a bit more of a feistiness to them.
Yeah, we found that.
Ooh, look at that. I made a little bit of a mess. They're very big honey producers, but they're more of a southern or tropical bee.
Oh.
So they need a lot of food to get them through the winter because they require larger numbers in order to overwinter.
Right.
So, look at this, my goodness. Okay, that's why they're putting all the honey down here, and that's why there's none up top. This next one is all capped. Okay, so this is all honey, and we'll show you, hopefully, a frame of brood. Here, look at this bee. This is a darker bee. So that would just have some different genetics. It could be from the same queen, it maybe isn't. Sometimes bees drift. It's probably from the queen, but maybe she was mated by a drone with darker, like, I think you pronounce it corneolin. And I'd love to get Russian bees. They have the genetics that we need, specifically for our location way up here in northern Alberta. This spring, I began working at reducing the cell size of my bees. And the way you do that, look at that. Isn't that glorious? That's honey. That's all honey. Now, this is cool. And this goes to what I was just saying. Reducing the cell size. So, the bees, they built all this out
themselves
inside
completely.
The frame. Yes, without any need for foundation. No wires, nothing. They just built on and built it perfect. Now, when bees do that, build out like that, they will build, generally, they will build a smaller cell than what they came out of. Because over the last 100 years, this is fascinating, I find at least, for the last 100 years, beekeepers have enlarged the honeybee because they are greedy and they want more honey and they think that a bigger bee will get more honey. I'm trying to downsize them so that they're less susceptible to diseases, because when they're the way that God made them to be, they have more ability to cope with all that our environment throws at them, which is just terrible stress.
It's getting worse and worse.
It's getting so bad. Thankfully, we are so blessed to live in such a beautiful area with alfalfa fields and minimal spraying.
Yeah, hardly any.
So we're so blessed with that. Anyway, so here, this is a beautiful rainbow frame. You see the rainbow? Now, all in here is brood. And the brood is where, it's like the nursery, all the baby bees are being born. This is all honey, it's all capped. A good frame of brood is honey, and then pollen, and then brood.
Right.
Now, there's not a whole lot of pollen in here. It could be mixed in with the honey, though. I don't see the queen on here. By the way, there's only one queen per hive, in case you didn't know. If there were two, it could be a mother and a daughter. Sometimes they can live in harmony.
Really?
Sometimes.
I didn't know that.
But otherwise, if there's two queens, they'll fight to the death. because only one queen can be there. Okay. In those cells, you can see some eggs. They're like little, like miniature grains of rice, and those are the eggs. And the eggs typically, last about 4 or 5 days. Anyway, you can see in here, this is some more maturer.
Yeah, let's see, I don't know.
See the white stuff? That's a larva.
Right.
After this stage, they get really big and white and fat, and then the nurse bees will cap them over. And then, look at that. That's what it looks like when it's all capped over. So, you see the difference? It's kind of a matte brown. This is capped bees, baby bees, and this is honey. So that's the difference there.
Right.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah,
so here's a bee. See that bee? That's a mite. You see that little red shiny thing?
Yeah.
Now, when I see that, sometimes I can actually grab the mite off the bee. Sometimes I can't. And if I can't, I will kill the bee because that mite will sneak its way into a cell just before it's capped.
You're that smart.
While it's capped, it will breed. It's the female goes in, and I think she mates in the cell.
So there gotta
and
be
then
two.
The baby mites.
Two mites in one cell.
I think so.
That makes sense, because you would need to have eggs too.
Yeah. So
Wow,
anyway.
what a frame of bees.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? So you can see again the honey, and then this is all brood. It's kind of hard to see with all the bees, but there, look at that. They move just beautifully.
Right? They're just starting to cap.
Oh yeah.
They're
Look
just
at that.
Oops. They're just starting to cap that.
That's why we sugar dust, because when you cover the bees in a fine powdery substance, then they need to clean themselves, and in the process they clean off the mites. And also the mites, they kind of are like suctions. That's how they stay on the bees. So then they lose their grip because the sugar gets under their feet. Anyway, so it looks like this was recently hatched brood, and they're starting to fill it with honey. You can maybe see the shiny stuff underneath, and that's the nectar. And of course, it's honey on the outer side. Yep, real nice. Wouldn't it be nice to see the queen?
That would be very nice to see the queen.
She's a big golden queen. She's gorgeous. But I don't necessarily, you don't need to find the queen every time. If you see eggs, which I saw eggs, that means that the queen was there very recently. That means she was there about 4 days ago. And so, if she was there about 4 days ago, you don't
She's
really
still
need
around.
Yeah, she's probably okay. So here, what I'm going to do is take more of an empty frame, put it in the middle, because we're in the middle of a flow, and this box is so full of honey, I'm going to give them a bit of extra space. So then they'll start filling this up. Maybe the queen will even lay in it. So you always got to be very slow. This is a pretty tight space. Real slow putting them in.
If you roll the bees, you'll damage their wings.
Exactly. Not even their wings, so you'll just damage them all over. Julia and I are going to dust them.
You should be able to get that. Just
Okay.
this one?
Yeah, sure. Go like that. So this is just regular, these Rogers white sugar. It's good to do this after a honey flow, but because this honey is just for ourselves, I'm not being as picky. If we get a little bit of white sugar, I'm not too worried about that.
And the bees' health is more important than ours. Bottom line.
Yeah, kind of. Hey, God save the queen. My, this is a heavy box. Whoa. So that's primarily the brood nest down there. That's where the queen is laying. Hopefully there's enough honey along the edges. I'd like to see. I'd like to check that. You know what? I'd really like to check that, Oh, I'm going to check that. So this is a frame that they built out. Oh, terrible. That's all drone. So there's 3 different cells that the bees make. There's worker bee, which is these honeybees. They're females, but they're infertile. They can lay, but they can only lay drones because they're not fertilized. Because they haven't been mated, right? So the worker bee And then there's the drone. Let's see if there's a drone on here. Gotta be a drone. They're big guys.
They're
The
everywhere.
males.
They're couch potatoes.
Yeah, but they are also
Yes.
sponges for disease.
Yeah.
They will attract the disease and absorb it for the rest of the hive, which is very fascinating. People do not give drones enough credit. And then there's the queen. And the queens have long cells that kind of grow out of the frame and down. These guys are drone. You see how big they are? They're a lot bigger. These are drone cells, I should say.
And the worker bee cells are up there.
Right there. Even these. You see the difference in size? So the worker bee is smaller, the drone's bigger, and then the queen is even bigger yet.
Queen is like a big tubular
Growth.
yeah.
That sounds terrible. No, but they're beautiful. The queen cells are absolutely beautiful.
Very elegant.
Yeah.
Stylish.
But because the queen has such a long abdomen, she needs that length. Okay, here's a drone. Looks like he's trying to itch himself. Supposedly drones don't sting. Queens can sting, but they very rarely will ever sting you. It's generally the worker bees that will sting. After they sting, they will die because the stinger actually pulls a part of their body off of them.
Yeah. And that stays
So
indoors.
I don't see any. There's a bunch of brood in there. She's doing a good job.
How old is this queen?
She was made this spring.
Okay.
From a local beekeeper. This is all pollen. Look at that, beautiful. Look how orange that is.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that glorious? That's all pollen.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. Queen very rarely is ever on a honey frame. Okay, so we found her and she was in the next box, just as Julia thought. Didn't take long to see her. Can you see her, Gooey? Wow, you saw that quick. There is the queen.
I think I can see. Right.
Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? She's so golden.
Right there.
She's the golden royal mother. Look at her legs. They're all shiny and strong.
I want to go there.
The reason why she has a large abdomen is because she has a whole bunch of eggs. She can lay thousands of eggs a day. People say generally around 2,000
A day.
but it could be more.
And she lays for the rest of her life, and she
Yep.
won't get mated. She'll only get mated once, and
That's right. Well, okay, she'll get mated once. Now, I'm not sure. I think she maybe goes on a couple or a few mating flights about within a week, though.
Wow.
So she's born after a week, then she lives kind of in the hive, kills any other sisters that she may have so that she doesn't have competition. And then she'll go on small flights to kind of get orientated. And then she'll go on mating flights, where she'll mate with up to 40 drones. Generally, it's probably around 15.
and all the drones die when they're done.
Yes, that's right. It's a happy life being a drone.
You get bedridden by disease, and then after mating, you die.
Yeah. Okay, so we are in another hive here. I recently requeened this, so that has a new queen in it. And it's very important to notice the laying pattern of a new queen specifically, to make sure she's good. Some queens will only lay drones, which is what you do not want.
Really? Only drones?
Yeah, that's pretty rare. I've never had that, but it can happen. So here, I don't know. Okay, so this is all nectar. Can you see the shininess? That's nectar. It's not quite honey. It's nectar. Pretty close to being honey. Okay? And then in here, it's kind of matted. And that is a nice little patch of brood. And you can see there's eggs under there. And the eggs are supposed to be in the middle of the cell, sticking up, maybe slightly at a tilt. But it shouldn't be sticking to the wall of the cell or anything. That's not good. And there should only be one egg per cell. Okay? So this queen is getting it. Those eggs look nicely laid. And let's see here. This queen, maybe you already noticed, but these bees are dark.
There she is. Ha! Where'd she go?
She's right here.
Okay. Oh, she has a mite.
No, it's not a mite. That's a lice.
Shoot.
She has a few.
Aww.
Those are not mites. Those are lice. They're very different. Now, you see how agitated she is? But anyway, she's laying very well. I've had a number of queens with those lice. And they do very, very well, but they always seem agitated. No wonder. You would be agitated if you had lice in your hair too. Yeah. Anyway, I've been able to pluck some off with tweezers, but I don't.
It's risky
so
business.
Risky because you do not want to damage her. Look at, she's laying very well. Anyway, that's what a dark queen looks like. We'll see how she overwinters. She's just a new queen, and she did not have those on last week when we checked her.
No,
so
she didn't.
I'm not sure why. Look at that beautiful honey. So, hope you enjoyed that little expedition of a beehive or a couple beehives. And if you have anything interesting to share, I'm always interested in talking to fellow beekeepers. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.